world's fastest air jets are a marvel of engineering and technology. Here's a comprehensive look at the top contenders. 1. NASA/USAFX-15, an experimental high-speed rocket-powered research aircraft. The X-15 was a joint operation between NASA and the United States Air Force. The result was more rocket-based than fighter jet, but showed just what was possible when jets used rockets instead of, well, jets. Developed throughout the 1960s, only 3 were ever built, which were attached to 2 modified B-52 bombers that carried the X-15 before launching mid-air. 8 of the 12 pilots that flew the X-15 reached an altitude higher than 50 miles. This met the Air Force spaceflight criterion, in turn automatically qualifying these pilots as astronauts. The military pilots qualified for astronaut wings, while the civilian pilots received NASA astronaut wings 35 years after the last X-15 flight. 2. Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird. With a top speed only half that of the X-15, the Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird may seem slow in comparison. However, it is still one of only 5 aircraft ever produced capable of exceeding Mach 3.0. The SR-71 is the fastest fighter jet ever, considering the X-15 was more rocket-based and the fastest fighter jet ever produced and used in service. Used by both NASA and the U.S. Air Force, the SR-71 was developed in the 1960s for reconnaissance missions. The last SR-71 was retired in 1999 by NASA, since many reconnaissance roles are now undertaken by satellites. As well as flying fast, the Blackbird was capable of flying high for sustained periods. While some jets can climb high, many cannot cruise at high altitudes, but the SR-71 could easily fly at heights of 25,000 meters, making it perfect for reconnaissance from a safe distance. There's no doubt the SR-71 was fast. It flew New York to London in just 1 hour, 54 minutes, and 56.4. Lockheed YF-12. The Lockheed YF-12 was the predecessor and prototype of the SR-71 Blackbird. Development began in the late 1960s, where 3 YF-12s were produced as prototype interceptor aircraft to replace the F-106 Delta Dart interceptor. At the time of development, the U.S. Air Force were moving funding towards the Vietnam War and other military priorities. Following retirement by the U.S. Air Force, the YF-12 went on to be a research aircraft for NASA before becoming the basis for the SR-71 that later went into production. MiG-25 Fox-Bat. Still in limited service today, the MiG-25 Fox-Bat is the only aircraft capable of speeds over Mach 3.0 in use by air forces. Developed in the 1960s, the MiG-25 quickly became one of the fastest fighter jets ever and has held that record for over 50 years. While more modern variants have been adopted, such as the MiG-31 and MiG-29, the MiG-25 still plays a role as an interceptor and for reconnaissance missions with a few air forces around the world. Almost 1,200 were produced, although production has ended. When the MiG-25 is finally retired, there are currently no other jets capable of Mach 3.0 or faster in service anywhere in the world. 5. Bell X-2 Starbuster. Another rocket wing-style aircraft, much like the X-15, the Bell X-2 Starbuster was a research aircraft developed in the 1940s and 1950s. The X-2's main purpose was to study flight characteristics in the Mach 2 to 3 range, mainly the thermal thicket heating problem, which was caused by aerodynamic friction. The Bell X-2 was designed to faster and at altitudes higher than the Bell X-1, and succeeded at delivering valuable research. 3 years later, the X-15 would go into development and surpass the X-2 speeds by quite some margin.